So the pitch coming. That one a little up in the strike zone that time. Held off on it. He was at the count now at 2-2. A lot of action going on here on campus of Calhoun. Here in Decatur. Well, it's not. I think it's Tanner, but called the Decatur campus. They do have a softball game going on as well this afternoon. 2-2 pitch from Pooler. Swung on and missed. And Pooler is dealing early here as he's got back-to-back strikeouts to start the contest. And now up is going to be Siddell. The Indians with 2 outs, nobody on. And LeBron Siddell, the left fielder, out of Tupelo, coming to the plate. So the Indians trying to spark a 2-out rally here. And that pitch across for a strike. I tell you what, if you're in the Indians, you're going to have to be a little aggressive today, as Pooler is doing a great job of just filling up the zone, working with a hurry. You can tell he feels comfortable early on here in the ball game. Bryant fouls this one off to the right side, and 0-2 now is the count. Another thing Pooler's done extremely well in these first 3 batters is to quickly get ahead in the count. 0-2 is the count here to Siddell. Pitch coming and swung on and missed. So Pooler sees 3 and strikes him out. 3 up, 3 down go the Indians here to start the contest. Not the start of the game that the Indians were looking for there. So we'll move to the bottom of the first inning. It'll be Sips, Petropale, and Davidson due up here in the bottom of the inning. We're going to step away and come back with the bottom of the first right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen. We get set to start things off here. If you're wanting to watch at home, it's on the Let'sGoICCTV.com/blue channel. For those that might be wanting to tell their friends, obviously you're watching here. We got some ICC fans here down in front of us as well. So this is going to be Chris Pete to start things off here for the Indians. ICC went 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first, trying to return serve here in the bottom half of the inning. Pete's first pitch, missing low for a ball. As we said, this is the 6th game of the season here for the Warhawks. ICC playing their first. This pitch across for a strike. So a nice job that time getting that one across, even if the count now at 1-1. Sidearm delivery, got him across for strike 2. Nice job on the changeup of location that time as Pete got the batter way ahead of that pitch. And Chris Pete now with a 1-2 count, no outs, first batter at the bottom of the inning. Calls time, will step out. This is Sipes at the plate for the Warhawks. Pitch coming. Fouled off to keep the at-bat alive here. We'll stay at 1-2. We do want to welcome everyone watching on the Blue Channel. Now, this is not our typical lead channel, so there might be a few little hiccups along the way that we don't experience when we're on the Red Channel. But we do appreciate everyone tuning in support of ICC baseball. This pitch popped up and is going to get out of play, so now the count stays at 1-2. We're also shooting through a screen, so sometimes it may affect your view for those watching on the live stream. We are trying our best to keep that at bay. So the 1-2 pitch coming. Ground ball, second baseman scoops it up, throws over, and gets the put out for the first out of the ball game. And now that will bring up Petropalo. 4-3 for those of you scoring at home. That was Millian tossing it over to Medlin for the first putout. Now it will be Petropalo for the Warhawks. So he digs in, takes that first pitch low for a ball. Indians went 3 up, 3 down in the top half of the inning. Ground ball, foul ball. 1-1 now is the count with 1 out. So the 1-1 pitch coming inside for a ball. 2-1 now is the count here on Petropalo. Dustin Davidson on deck. This pitch, ground ball, foul ball, and 1-2 now goes the count. We're scoreless, bottom of the first inning. 1 out, Calhoun at the plate. Petropalo looks at that one low in the dirt, takes it for a ball. Turned out to be a pretty nice day for baseball. Partly cloudy. Not as warm as you would like it, but not necessarily chilly. A light jacket could take care of you. As this pitch fouled off. Good job fighting off that pitch that time. And the count is 2-2 with 1 out. Nobody on here in the bottom of the first. So Pete's pitch coming, and lost him as he hit him that time. A breaking ball that just didn't quite break enough. And so we have our first base runner on the pass this afternoon. And now it will be Dustin Davidson. Davidson is the first baseman. So he'll dig in with a runner on and 1 out. So Pete trying to find a way out of a not to jam just yet. Is that pitch across? Snap throw down is not in time. Just about got him though. Made it interesting. It's like he called that pitch a ball. So 1-0 is the count now here on Davidson. Or excuse me, actually called it a strike. So 0-1 now is the count here on Davidson. Snap throw to first, not in time. Runner dives back safely. That's Petropalo, who was hit by a pitch to the right fielder at first base for the Warhawks. 0-1 pitch, sidearm delivery, outside for a ball. 1-1 now is the count. So 1-1, 1 out, and a runner on first, bottom of the first. That pitch drifts inside for a ball. 2-1 now is the count here on Dustin Davidson. So Pete getting ready to get in his stretch. And snap throw to first, a little bit closer again. Petropalo may want to take just a half a step back as he's been thrown at 3 times, and each time it's been awful close. So Pete set to deliver. Now snap throw over to first again, and again a close throw. Now we talk about Calhoun and Itawamba. This is 2 schools that are pretty close in proximity, about an hour and 45-minute drive from Fulton. Is that pitch across for a strike? 2 very proud baseball programs as well. And typically play early on in the season, try to open the season with a home and away series with the Warhawks. Pete's pitch popped up. Shortstop calling everyone off, squeezes it for out number 2. That was Connor Lewis coming up and getting the put out for out number 2. And now up will be Hunter Davison, the center fielder. As we said, if you go back and watch some of the highlights from today's games, I'm not going to be able to shoot them too closely. As soon as we start zooming in, the camera doesn't necessarily like the net in front of me. Petropaulo calls time. Looks like his belt may have actually broke on him as he just tosses it to the first base coach. 2 outs now for Hunter Davison. Sidearm delivery missing just low for a ball. 1-0 now is the count. Indians trying to keep this a scoreless contest. ICC went 3 up, 3 down on 3 strikeouts in the top half of the inning. Runner goes, little hit and run action, foul ball. The Indians were able to get a ground out to second. Then Petropaulo was hit by a pitch. That's him at first base. And then a pop up to the shortstop in shallow center was for out number 2. And so now the Warhawks trying to spark a little 2-out rally here in the bottom of the first, scoreless contest. Breaking pitch popped up. Center fielder taking about a slight jog back, about 8 steps, and squeezes it for the putout. And that will do it. We've played 1 here in Decatur, Alabama. ICC 0. Calhoun 0. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back to action now for the Indians. It'll be the 4-5-6 batters due up. And this is going to be Justin Medlin, the first baseman, to lead things off here for ICC. That pitch missing outside low for a ball. That pitch across, swinging on a strike. Mind you, if you're ever away from your computer, can't get to some updates on baseball, you can follow us on Twitter at Let'sGoICC. That pitch across for a strike. I tell you what, I have been impressed by Pooler early on. Good control of his pitches, able to locate inside, outside on the batters, and really has kept the Indians handicapped so far here in the contest. There's a rip down the line. If it stays fair, it's good, and it will be. It's down in the corner, and this is going to be a leadoff double by Justin Medlin, and that is the first hit of the season for the Indians, and it was a beauty. Just went with the pitch, pulled it down the line. It was about a foot fair, and he was able to turn that into a double, a big hit there to start the inning for the Indians. So now the Indians trying to get something going here. This is going to be Drew Thomas at the plate with the runner in scoring position. Top of the second, scoreless contest, ICC and Calhoun. Breaking pitch hangs up just a little bit too much that time for a ball. So 1-0 is the count here to Thomas. And he's hit by a pitch. So the Indians getting something going here as the DH Thomas hit by a pitch, and he'll trot down to first. Each team now issuing a free pass on a hit batsman. And this is going to be Kason Milgren coming up, the second baseman. I do apologize if I'm saying that name wrong. His first game of the season in the middle of basketball season and tennis and golf and softball. I haven't quite had enough time to nail down my pronunciations of these players this year, so I'll be sure and try to do that for our next broadcast of ICC baseball, which is scheduled for Friday. Of course, there's rain in the area for Friday, so you'll want to visit letsgoicc.com as well as follow us on Twitter at letsgoicc for any schedule changes. That pitch at the knees, called a strike. So cross for a strike, 0-1 is the count here. Runners on first and second for the Indians, no out. Top of the second, game one. Breaking pitch, just missing the batter that time. Up high on Kason, the second baseman, for a ball. 1-1 now is the count. Indians looking to get something going here early in the contest. That pitch. Oh, just missing. So 2-1 now is the count here. Indians with runners on first and second. And that pitch missing high and inside. So it looks like Pooler, after he was grooving early, got a runner on first and second, kind of rattled a little bit here. As the count now goes 3-1, Indians. Chance to load the bases with a walk here, and Kyle Krieger is on deck. This pitch fought off, fouled off. Now the count goes full here on Milgren. So 3-2 count. Runners on first and second, no outs, top of the second here in game one. And that pitch, a little low and inside, but called a strike. And if you're the Indians now, you got to be aware of that. That umpire likes that inside corner. It is very generous with it, and as well as Pooler has pitched early going after that spot, you can tell he's confident and comfortable going after it, and got it for strike three, his fourth strikeout of the game. So now with one out, runners on first and second. This will be Kyle Krieger, the third baseman. Swings on that one, misses it. Runner will advance over to third. So now runners on first and third here for the Indians. We'll see as Calhoun goes through their signals on how to play this. RBI opportunity here for Krieger with anything down to the outfield. Maybe even deep enough, could possibly get a sac fly out of it. Ground ball, going to go to third. Runner's going to go to home. They're going to surrender the run and get the out, but the Indians do get a run on the board and take a 1-0 lead. For those of you that might be scoring at home, you can score that one 5-3 on the putout with an RBI. So they do get the out. Allow the run to score after the pass ball. And ICC gets on the board now. They lead 1-0. That pitch across. This is Hunter Neighbors, the catcher. One of two sophomores in this starting nine for the Indians. As he'll dig in with a runner on second, and now 2 outs in the inning. ICC leads it 1-0. Pooler steps off, looks to runner back to second. So waiting the pitch here. Low and at the knees, called a ball. But as we said, Pooler really likes working that inside part of the plate on right-handed batters. Gets it, works it well as against lefties, but he's been able to fill up the zone and struggled a little bit here in the inning. The Indians plate 1 run. As that pitch, a beauty across for a strike. The snap throw down to second. Would have been close. Would have been close if the catch would have been made. As Coach Collier using that as a coaching opportunity to try to get his guys to realize what to do. So the Indians trying to spark a 2-out rally here. Time is taken by Hunter Neighbors at the plate. He'll dig back in now. I believe 1-1 is the count here on the batter with 2 outs and a runner on second. ICC leading 1-0 here early in game 1 against Calhoun. Ground ball to the shortstop, cleanly played. Throw across the way will be in time for the putout. Score that one 6-3 as ICC gets 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. ICC leads it 1-0 now. We'll take a break and come back with the bottom half of the second inning where it'll be Foster, Bradford, and Booker due up here for the Warhawks. You're watching ICC Baseball on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back now as we move to the bottom of the second inning. ICC with a 1-0 lead after a double by Justin Medlin. Came around to score on a ground out by Kyle Krieger. And ICC with a 1-0 lead. Chris Pete on the mound. That first pitch across for a ball. This is Foster, the DH, at the plate for Calhoun. Swung on and missed. Nice job of changing the tempo a little bit that time by Pete to get that one across, even the count now at 1-1. Crowd continues to file in here this afternoon as this pitch lifted, high fly ball. And it's going to be the shortstop calling everyone off and gets the squeeze on it for the putout. Second time this afternoon that Connor Lewis has had a little routine pop ball up to shortstop to get the putout. And 1 away now, this will be the shortstop Bradford coming to the plate for the first time this afternoon. 1-0 is your score. We're in the bottom of the second. Pete's sidearm delivery, missing low and outside for a ball. This time pitch foul back, even with the count at 1-1. We do want to remind you our next broadcast here on Let's Go ICC TV will be Thursday night, as we'll be back on the Red Channel for basketball as the rivals come to town. It'll be Northeast. That pitch missing low for a ball. It'll be a 5:40 start time with the Choice Pond pregame show. The women will tip things off at 6. The men scheduled for an 8 o'clock tip-off. Big-time playoff implications on the line in that one. If you're not near your computer, is that pitch across for a strike. 2-2 now is the count. It gets little moans and groans out of the Calhoun faithful. But if you're not near your computer, near a radio or traveling, you can listen on FM 95 Sports, 95.7 FM. 2-2 pitch coming. Tried to hold off on it that time. Check swing was able to get a piece of it and foul it off to keep the at-bat alive here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the second. ICC with a 1-0 lead here in Game 1 against Calhoun. Pete's pitch fouled off and will stay at 2-2. We're going to see probably a lot of opportunities for the Indians to play in the early going of the season. Coach Collier always likes to give his guys a chance to prove themselves in game action. There's a line drive out to left field, and that's going to be a base hit. First hit of the game for the Warhawks, and it belongs to the shortstop, Bradford. And it comes on a 1-out single out to left, and now up is going to be the catcher, Booker, coming to the plate. So Booker will dig in with a runner on first. Last time we saw a runner on first, Indians threw over a numerous amount of times as Pete just steps off the rubber and back on. Pitch, a beauty, right down Broadway for a strike. Oh, and 1 is the count. Snap throw over to first. Back safely with a tag was Bradford, who just singled out to left. So 0-1 is the count, 1 out. There's a hard ground ball. Second baseman scoops it up here. Taylor-made double play, and the Indians turn it. What a beauty that time by ICC. Little Caesars double play as the Indians go 4-6-3 to get the double play, the first double play of the season, and the Indians trying to grab a little bit of momentum here early on in the contest. They lead it 1-0. We've played 2 here in Game 1 of 2 this afternoon in Alabama. We're going to step away and come back with more on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we move now to the top of the 3rd inning. ICC leading 1-0 after a beautiful Little Caesars double play turn to end the inning there. If you're scoring at home, that was 4-6-3 on the double play, the first Little Caesars double play of the season for the Indians. Due up for ICC will be the 9-1-2 batters, and this will be Kyle Weaver at the plate, the right fielder. That pitch just a bit behind him for ball 1. Remind you, as trying to keep up with Twitter updates throughout the ball game. If you're away from your computer, you can follow us on Twitter at letsgoicc.com. Not only you get in-game updates, you can also get schedule changes, updates on all of ICC athletics at Let's Go ICC on Twitter. Also visit letsgoicc.com. That pitch was fouled off, evens up the count now at 1-1 here on Weaver. Thought about swinging on that one low in the dirt. That one's low for a ball. Now there's a shot to center field. This one's to the gap. This was like it could be a double here, and it will be. And so back-to-back innings now. The Indians have started the inning off with a double, a big-time hit there for Kyle Weaver, as he just put a rope on one that time and found the gap out in right center. And now the Indians in business here as we go back to the top of the lineup with Jackson Lancaster, who struck out looking his first time up. This pitch foul straight back. Strike one. That pitch a beauty. Oh, wow. Caught a ball. Good looking pitch that time. Just a little too far outside for the umpire's liking. It swung on a miss. Couldn't catch up with the fastball that time. And now 1-2 is the count here. So a runner on second, no outs. 1-2 is the count here to Lancaster. Lancaster, looks at a borderline pitch. And called a ball. This pitch foul down the line. We'll stay at 1-2. So runner on second. 2-2 is the count. No outs here in the top of the third inning. ICC with a 1-0 lead. 2-2 pitch coming. And another one, borderline, just not going the way of Pooler. So Lancaster battling at the plate now with a full count. Indians with a runner on second after a double by Weaver to lead things off here. And that pitch floats outside for a ball. And a free pass issued to Jackson Lancaster. The first walk of the day issued by Pooler. So now that will bring up Connor Lewis, the shortstop, with runners on first and second, and no outs here in the top of the third. ICC leading 1-0. Maybe I'm foreshadowing what's to come. So Lewis, one of the two sophomores in today's lineup for the Indians, will dig in. Takes a look at the first swing. Couldn't catch up with the heater. Strike one. So 0-1 is the count here to Lewis. Runners on first and second. Lewis showing bunt this time. Lays it down. They're going to throw it to third and drops the ball. Indians force the issue there. The first baseman come up and threw it. We'll see what they're going to score it here in the score box. It's close. So we're going to call it a fielder's choice. Don't know if there was an error or not on the throw. But either way it goes, bases are loaded for the Indians. And this is going to be LeBryant Sedale, the freshman, digging in with the bases full of Indians. So LeBryant will dig in here. Swings on the first pitch, fouls it off. Strike one. Well, a great opportunity here for the Indians. Bases loaded with no outs here. If they get the merry-go-round going, can build on this 1-0 lead. That pitch inside, ball gets away. Great job, though, by the catcher, Booker, to get enough of his leg over to back that one up to bounce to his left versus going straight back to the fence, because there's a lot of room behind home plate. Could have easily allowed a run to score there for the Indians. 1-1 pitch coming, and this one's going to be fouled off. We'll go to 1-2. Good crowd of ICC supporters coming out here to support the Indians. Noon opening pitch. We actually got a 12:08 start time. First game of the season here for the Indians. LeBryant waiting the pitch. Is upstairs for a ball. Snap throw down to third. Actually comes off the back of the leg of Weaver, who started this inning with a double. Then it was a walk issued to Jackson Lancaster. Then Connor Lewis reached on a fielder's choice. And that's how the Indians have bases loaded with no outs. So Sedale, a chance to open this game up a little bit. Nice location on the pitch that time. He couldn't find it and goes down swinging for the second time in the contest. 1 out. The 5th strikeout of the game for Pooler. Boy, it could be big for Pooler's confidence that he can find a way to get out of this inning with no damage done. Bases loaded now with 1 out. To the plate is Justin Medlin. He had a beauty of a double down the right field line in his last at-bat. Swings on the first pitch he sees, fouls it back straight out of play for strike one. Well, I'll tell you what, if he can have a repeat of the first at-bat, could be a bases clearing double. Bases loaded, 1 out for the Indians. They lead 1-0 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Pitch coming in the dirt for a ball. Once again, nice job that time by the catcher, Booker, to keep that one in front of him. One and one now is the count. This pitch foul straight back into your living room. 1-2 goes the count. Drew Thomas, the DH, is on deck. He was hit by a pitch in his first at bat. This is Medlin at the plate, awaiting the pitch. Swings on that one, couldn't get to it. And nowhere to go that time. And that's going to be a strikeout. Good job by Pooler now. Back-to-back strikeouts. He has set down 6 on the afternoon, and now this is going to be Drew Thomas. Boy, the Indians do not want to leave bases loaded here, but let's give credit to Pooler with his back against the wall, coming in a clutch situation with back-to-back strikeouts now. 2 outs and bases loaded. Pitch in the dirt, ball gets away. The Indians are going to try to score the run from third. The throw did not throw it, and the Indians tack on another run. So Weaver scores when the ball gets away. Jackson advances, as well as Connor Lewis. And so now the Indians take a 2-0 lead with 2 outs and runners on second and third. And a beautiful pitch that time, just could not find it. Swinging strike on Drew Thomas. I believe 1-1 is the count here on Thomas. That pitch in the dirt, beautiful job that time. I'll tell you what, Booker has earned his keep here in this inning. He has been active behind the plate, doing a good job of blocking up 2 or 3 pitches from getting away. That one that just happened to get away from him allowed the run to score. So when you've been chasing pitches here in the inning, one is bound to get by you, and ICC was able to take advantage. So waiting the pitch here, and it's a beauty. That inside corner that Pooler has been his bread and butter this afternoon was able to get that one. 2-2 now goes the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Indians with runners on second and third. There's a shot, and this is going to score 2 to the gap. And a big time 2-out hit there for the Indians. And ICC gets them across, and they take a 4-0 lead here in game 1. Big time hit there, a 2-out hit by Drew Thomas. His first hit of the season. Laces it out to right center, pushes across a pair of runs, and ICC now leads it 4-0. So now up, this is going to be Milligan, who struck out looking at his first at bat. One of 4 strikeout victims this afternoon by Pooler. Pooler, for the most part of the day, has pitched well. He's only given up 3 hits, 2 doubles, though. That last one being his 3rd hit given up of the day. So the Indians now leading 4-0. Healthy swing that time by Kaysen, just comes up empty. That pitch, high for a ball. 2-1 now goes the count here. O'Milron. Sun starting to come out through the clouds. It'll be a partly cloudy day. Winds are pretty much calm this afternoon. 2-1 pitch, and that one's high and inside for a ball. Kyle Krieger is on deck. He had a ground out but drove in a run in his first at bat. He would like to see an at bat here as the count now goes 3-1 on Kaysen. There's a shot. Center fielder, though, taking a step back, now having to run like he's going to be able to catch up with it in time, and he does for the putout. But the Indians able to push across 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. ICC leads it 4-0 here as we get ready to move to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. We'll step away and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back now as we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It'll be 8-9-1 batters due up here for Calhoun. ICC with a 4-0 lead. We'll recap some of the scoring. As this pitch fouled back for strike 1. Well, Indians loaded the bases. And then Weaver scored on a pass ball. Or actually could have been called a wild pitch. There's a grounder right back to the pitcher. Pete gloves it, throws it across the way for the putout. 1-3 for those of you scoring at home. That was the 3rd baseman, Stennis, on that ground out. Now it'll be the 2nd baseman, Woods, the number 9 batter. This will be the number 9 batter, 2nd baseman, Woods. Fouls this one off towards the dugout. This is Pete on the mound. There's a rip, and that's going to be over the head of the second baseman. Nice job going with the pitch that time. Now he's looking to go two. He's committed to it. The throw is up the line. I tell you what, if the throw would have been in time, would have been, or excuse me, a little bit more on line, would have been in time for the putout, just up the first base side a little bit. As now that's going to be a double because he never stopped running. Woods was thinking two the whole way that time. Nearly got caught up in it a little bit, but was able to get there and reach safely. Good aggressive base running there by the Warhawks, who trail this one 4-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. That pitch called a ball. One 0 is the count. Runner at second. That pitch across for a strike. Pete able to find a little bit of that room that Pooler has been able to get that pitch on that same corner. 1-1 pitch coming. Ground ball. Second baseman's going to go over. Only play is at first. The runner will advance to third. So not a bad at bat right there. Was able to push the runner across. Second time that Sipes has grounded out to the second baseman. So now with 2 outs in the inning, Petropaulo would come to the plate. He was hit by a pitch and left stranded in his first at bat. That was all the way back in the first inning. So Pete's first pitch, a fastball couldn't catch up with it. Strike one. So 0-1 is a count. 2 outs and a runner on third here for Calhoun. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Game 1 between ICC and Calhoun. We'll have both games coming your way here on Let's Go ICC TV.com. Season opener for the Indians. The home opener scheduled for Friday. Of course, there's a lot of rain in the area scheduled for Friday. As 0-2 pitch coming, this one fouled off as well. For those that may be watching, do plan on to come to Friday's game in case they are not rained out. Do plan a little extra time to come to the ballpark as we're hosting the Region 4 2A basketball tournament at the Davis Event Center. Those games will be going on at the same time, so you may want to plan a little extra time to get there and find a parking spot. Beautiful breaking pitch, a little low inside for a ball. 1-2 now is the count. So, yeah, plan a little extra time if you're planning to come out to the ball game, to the Roy Crescent Field on Friday. Wind's starting to pick up a little bit. Not a whole lot. The flag is waving now out to center field. Sidearm delivery in the dirt. Nice job that time by Neighbors to block that one up, keeping the runner at third base. Evens up the count now at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on third. That is Woods, who doubled with 1 out in the inning. So waiting the pitch here from Pete. Ground ball, foul ball. Just a little bit ahead of it that time was Petropaulo. So we said he was hit by a pitch in his first at bat. 4-0 ICC, bottom of the third inning. And this pitch fouled off. Good at bat right now by Petropaulo, getting deep in the pitch count here. Seeing plenty of pitches, fouling them off, keeping them alive here. As the count is at 2-2 with 2 outs. Runner at third for Calhoun. So Pete trying to find a way to win this battle here. 2-2 count. Pete's pitch coming. And once again, it's fouled off, so we'll do it all over again. Good little battle going here between Pete and Petropaulo. Or excuse me, Petropaulo. So after about 3 straight fouls balls, it's 2-2 now. And there's another one. So the at bat continues here. You got to think this at bat now is in double digits, pitching wise, for Pete. Don't know what Coach Collier has for his pitchers early on in the season. If he's going to just try to keep on a pitch count or maybe inning count to see what kind of work they can do. That pitch missing high. 4 ball. 3-2 now is the count here as the count goes full on Petropaulo. So the payoff pitch coming from Pete. It's ripped and it's foul. Oh, young lady sitting out there with her dog near the bullpen. Might need to stay off your phone a little bit. That one nearly catching her out there in foul territory. As they want to come out and talk things over here as Hunter Neighbors coming out to talk to his pitcher, Chris Pete. Pete in a battle here with Petropaulo. We hear the softball game getting fired up to us out here to the left. Nice little ballpark. Very deceiving ballpark when you're a batter. It looks like it's a very short field because there's not a whole lot of background out there in center field. So a lot of times you get visiting teams caught swinging for the pitch or swinging for the fences on each pitch. And that one outside for a ball. Good at bat that time by Petropaulo as he was able to earn that walk. Second time he has gotten a free pass. First time he was hit by a pitch. This time draws about a 12-pitch walk. And so now with runners on the corners with 2 outs in the inning, this will be Dustin Davidson at the plate here for Calhoun. Davidson flew out to shallow center. The shortstop was the one that came up and put a play on the ball. Runners on the corners here. Snap throw over to first. Not in time. Got to be a little careful, though. If you're Pete, you don't want to put one in the dirt, let it get away, and allow the runner to score from third. So the pitch coming. This one. Another shallow ball. Center fielder coming up, calling everyone off, and squeezes it for the putout. So Pete, with the help of his defense, get out of the inning with no damage done after a 1-out double by Woods. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left on base here for Calhoun. We've played 3, ICC 4, Calhoun nothing, in game 1 of 2 here. Season opener for the Indians. We'll step away and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back now as we move to the top of the 4th inning here in game 1 between ICC and Calhoun. ICC with a 4-0 lead. We'll try to recap your scoring in between innings, as it will be the 7, 8, 9 batters due up here for the Indians. This is the third baseman, Kyle Cricker, who takes that first pitch for a strike. He had a ground out to third, but he was able to drive in a run in his first at bat. Fouls that one off. And the count goes 0-2. Well, I'll say this. Probably will do it more than a few times this season. We'll probably call him Kyle Kreger a couple of times. A buddy of mine that played at Oxford High School went on to play at Western Kentucky a few years in the minor league as well, out of the Oxford area. 0-2 is the count. Got a chance to cover him throughout his career. So if I refer to him as that a couple of times, I do apologize. 1-2 now is the count. This pitch fouled off into the Calhoun dugout will stay at 1-2. Krieger, Neighbors, and Weaver due up here for the Indians in the top of the fourth inning. That pitch inside for a ball, evens the count now at 2-2. Well, for ICC fans, we do want to remind you that we're keeping track of Coach Collier's wins. He's 4 wins away from his 500th win at ICC. As this pitch, a little flare off the fist, and it's going to drop for a base hit. So Krieger showing off a little bit of that muscle. He was jammed on the pitch that time, just got enough of it to put over the head of the second baseman and drop in for a single. That is the 4th base hit of the day for the Indians. And I'll say this, and I'm sure the guys from Calhoun that are listening in the press box will get a laugh out of this. One of my most irrational fears in life is things flying over my head. That's one thing I do not like about coming to Calhoun. It's that pitch low into the dirt. I think it was a helicopter that just flew by. Of course, I believe Calhoun is a aviation school, which is really cool. I love to fly as long as it's just not flying above me. It's that pitch outside for a ball. For those listening, I'll go on to explain kind of that fear because I get picked on about it a lot. It's I guess I have a fear of going under bridges, going under planes flying overhead, things like that. A fear of things falling on me because my rational thought behind that is it's built by the cheapest bidder. So they're trying to find ways to cut corners. And if you know me, my life has been peppered with dumb luck throughout my 30-some years of life, and I just feel like that's the Lord's way of taking me out is going to be a plane falling on me or something. So there you go. A little bit too much information from Gore for those fans out there. So it's a good thing I'm not the SID here at Calhoun. I'd have a nervous breakdown every day. Pitch in the dirt. Runner looked like he was going that time. Elects to come back. I believe 2-0 now is the count here on Hunter Neighbors. He grounded out to the shortstop in his first at bat to end the second inning. Ground ball, foul ball. Going down the left side, and now the count goes 2-1 here on Neighbors. Kyle Weaver's on deck. He started the third inning with a double. Came around to score on a pass ball. Part of a 3-run top of the third inning for the Indians. They lead it 4-0. Shows bunt. Lays it down nicely. Only one play, and that's going to be a sacrifice bunt to push the runner over. Nicely done that time by Hunter Neighbors. Score that one 2-3 on the putout. That sacrifice bunt being brought to you by the ICC Baptist Student Union, reminding us of the ultimate sacrifice paid for our sins. That's the ICC BSU. Follow them on Twitter at ICC BSU. Also, they meet Monday nights at 7:07. Wednesdays at lunch, $2 to be able to eat lunch. I think this week it's Pisons for lunch. They ask just bring $2 and a friend, and hey, while you're at it, bring $2 and help treat your friend to lunch there. A little late decision on swinging on that one for Kyle Weaver as he comes up empty on that one. There's one out and a runner on second here for the Indians. ICC looking to build on their 4-0 lead here in the top of the fourth. Pitch coming. Once again, confusing Weaver. As he's now behind the count 0-2 with one out and a runner on second. So 0-2 is the count here on Weaver. Waiting the pitch. And there's a ground ball to the shortstop. Going to try to get the runner at third, and he's there. Oh, no! Got underneath the tag that time. Even some of the players up here in the press box thought he was safe. But hey, just like the baseball players, myself, the broadcaster, for these umpires, it's some of their first games of the year, and they hadn't really got their eyes adjusted what's going on there. So a fielder's choice takes a base hit, or actually would have been a fielder's choice either way. Score that one 6-5 on the putout of Krieger. So a break there for the Warhawks. And now up we go back to the top of the lineup for Lancaster. That pitch across for a strike. So a tough break there for the Indians. ICC would have had runners on the corners with only one out in that situation. There's a hard hit ground ball, and that would have scored a run. Well, no, it probably would have been a tailor-made double play. But either way it goes, shortstop steps on the bag for the unassisted putout to end the inning. So the Indians get no runs, one hit, no errors, and one left on base. We'll move to the bottom of the fourth inning. But before we do that, let's take a look at your scoring recap being brought to you by the Sonic in Fulton. Well, both teams went scoreless in the first inning. ICC broke the ice in the second when Justin Medlin doubled, advanced on a pass ball, and scored on a ground ball to third by Kyle Krieger. And then in the bottom of the second, the Indians turned 4-6-3 to get out of the inning with no damage done after giving out a one-out single to Bradford. And then ICC opened it up a little bit there in the third inning when they pushed across 3 runs. It was a double by Weaver to start the inning off. And then a walk issued to Jackson Lancaster. A bang-bang play over at third resulted in a fielder's choice to load the bases when Connor Lewis reached. Back-to-back strikeouts, though, by Pooler forced the Indians in a bases-loaded 2-out situation, and then Drew Thomas came through in the clutch with a 2-out single, a little flare out to right center to push across Lancaster and Lewis to score 2 runs. And then ICC, I should say Calhoun in the bottom of the third got a 1-out double by Woods, put a runner over at first, but got a fly out to center field of Dustin Davidson to end the inning, and ICC couldn't get anything going there in the top of the fourth. That's your scoring recap brought to you by Sonic. Swing on the first pitch he sees, ground ball, throws across the way. Put out of Hunter Davidson, 6-3, as that's ground ball to the shortstop. That was Connor Lewis. So now this will be Foster coming to the plate. Foster, the DH, popped up to the shortstop in his first at-bat. There's 1 out and nobody on here in the bottom of the fourth. And a beauty of a pitch across for a strike. We just talk about the field here. As it being an aviation school, there's a lot of flat ground behind the outfield fence. And for teams that come into the ballpark, the park is a lot smaller than it seems. You look down the lines, down right and left is listed at 330, 370 to the cap, 390 dead center. Wind lightly blowing out to dead center right now. Swung on and miss for strike 2. So 1-2 pitch coming here. Swung on and missed for strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Chris Pete, and that's the second out of the inning. So that Renaissance Bank strikeout for Pete, the first of the season, first of the game. And there's 2 away now. This is going to be Bradford coming to the plate. Bradford single, but was part of that double play to end the second. As that first pitch missing low for a ball. Well, we talked about what's coming up at ICC. Of course, that's always being brought to you by Food Giant there in Fulton. A ground ball, foul ball down the right side. We talked about it Friday, ICC scheduled for their home opener. Softball will be hosting 4 games. They'll be playing 3 of those 4 games. That's starting at noon on Friday. Tennis will be in action on Saturday at Holmes. And then baseball, there's a flare out to center field. Center fielder having to hurry, goes and makes a leaping catch. Couldn't find it. And this is going to be running for a while here. And that's going to be a triple if he can get it in there, and he will. And a big-time hit there, second hit of the day for Bradford. Great effort out there. That was a laser out to left center. Center fielder Jackson Lancaster put on a pretty good chase for it, tried to make the diving catch, couldn't get to it. Quickly hopped up and relayed the ball in. If he doesn't get up in a hurry, with Bradford showing off some speed there, that could have been an in-the-park home run. So now with 2 outs in the inning and a runner on third, this will be Booker coming up to the plate. Booker, the catcher, trying to redeem himself from the last time he grounded into a double play to end the second. Takes a look at that first pitch, low for a ball. But if we get rained out on Friday, if the weather clears up, we're scheduled to play Sunday baseball as well there in Fulton. To get a complete schedule of ICC athletics, visit letsgoicc.com. Follow us on Twitter. And you can also follow us on Twitter for game day, in-game updates. Also Instagram, Snapchat, anything you want to know ICC athletics. Just search Let's Go ICC in any form of social media. That pitch across for a strike, 2-1 now, is the count here on Booker. So a runner at third after a triple by Bradford was his second hit of the day. That pitch missing outside. Neighbors had to backhand that one to find it. 3-1 now goes the count. Stennis is on deck. Would love to see an at-bat this inning. And he will, as Booker is hit by the pitch. Second time that Pete has put somebody on after hitting him. It looks like Coach Rick Collier is going to make the slow walk out to the pitching mound here to talk to his pitcher. First time he's making a trip out this evening. Now what would be the third baseman, Stennis. He grounded out 1-3 to start the third inning. Trying to keep this inning alive here and see if the Warhawks can spark a little bit of a rally. Trailing 4-0 here in the bottom of the first. We do want to mention some of our sponsors helping bringing today's action your way here on Let's Go ICC TV.com. We also talk about the ICC Wesley Foundation. They meet Thursday nights at 7. They're located right across the street from us at the Davis Event Center. You also have the Bank of Okolona. John Herod and Company doing a great job out there for us at the Bank of Okolona. Proud to be a partner with ICC Athletics. Visit bankofokolona.com. You also have Little Caesars there in Fulton. If you're ever coming through Fulton, or maybe Calhoun fans that might be coming to the ballpark, you're looking for something to get on the road, hot and ready pizza there available for $5. Single topping pizzas available. They're located right 2 doors down from Food Giant there in Fulton. And now up is going to be the third baseman, Stennis, as we said, grounded out 1-3 in his previous at-bat. We'll talk about some more of those fine sponsors throughout today's broadcast. A looping strike, a little off-speed pitch that time for strike one. Well, clouds starting to move back into the area. Don't know what the rain forecast is this afternoon. Of course, this time of year, you just don't know. They can call for an 80% chance of rain. It won't rain. They call for 20. It'll end up raining. So 0-1 is the count here on Stennis. Runners on the corners for the Warhawks. They trail 4-0. That pitch across, and it's a beauty. I don't know what Coach Collier said to Pete, but it was pretty good. Ball gets away. Boy, I tell you what, the Indians catch a break there. As Bradford was not really paying attention. I don't know if the ball really got far enough away from Pete for Bradford to score, but it would have been a close bang-bang play if he would have decided to go with the speed that Bradford has. So a break there for ICC after the errant throw back to the pitcher. 0-2 now is the count. Oh, borderline pitch set up on the outside. Too much for the umpire's liking. And now the count goes 1-2. So Pete will dig in here. And there's beautiful strike three. Got him looking that time for his second Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day, second of the inning. And ICC gets out of the inning with no damage done. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base. We've played 4. ICC leads it 4-0 here in Game 1 at Calhoun. We're going to step away and be back with the 5th inning here on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back to action here. We move now to the top of the fifth inning. The ICC leading 4-0 here in Game 1 at Calhoun. This is going to be Connor Lewis, the shortstop at the plate. He is 0 for 2 on the day. He did reach on a fielder's choice and scored. Also struck out swinging in his first at bat, part of a 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeout inning for Pooler in the first. Lewis, Siddell, and Medlin due up here. Beautiful breaking pitch, sweeps its way across for strike 2. That pitch inside just a bit too much for the umpire's liking. 1-2 now goes the count. This one reached out for and fouled off. Keeping the at-bat alive here. 1-2 is the count on Lewis. Siddell on deck for the Indians. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. So Lewis awaiting the 1-2 pitch here for Pooler, who had 6 Renaissance Bank strikeouts on the day. This one fouled off. We'll stay at 1-2. We're going to try to have some updates coming your way throughout the afternoon of tennis. They're in action today at Meridian. That's going to be their first matches of the year. They've had their first 3 matches canceled either due to cold weather or rain this season. So the 1-2 pitch coming and got him swinging for strike 3. That is the 7th Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for Pooler. Second time that Lewis has went down swinging. So 1 out now, and this is going to be LeBryant Siddell, the left fielder out of Tupelo, coming to the plate. 7 freshmen in the lineup for the Indians. One of the youngest teams that Rick Collier has had in his 16 years at ICC. That's just the case of junior college, though. A lot of times you have a lot of turnover. But one thing Rick does say is he has a bunch of guys that just want to get out there and get after it, fight for a spot in the lineup. Swinging at the first pitch he sees, high fly ball. Right fielder's drifting over and is going to squeeze it for the putout. Excuse me, that's the left fielder. Now that's when things start to get tricky. You get a little bit of cloud cover in the area, especially the way the clouds are right now. You can easily lose the ball. Luckily for both ICC and Calhoun, there's not a lot of wind blowing today that could shift the ball around once you kind of get a feed on it. But if it did, that could make any type of fly ball interesting. That gets out to the outfield. Sweeping breaking pitch, called a ball. A little low and outside for the umpire's liking. 2 outs, nobody on here for the Indians. We're in the top of the 5th inning. ICC with a 4-0 lead at Calhoun in Game 1. Big healthy swing, but comes up empty that time. Good little fastball zipped across that time for a strike. Evens the count now at 1-1. Breaking pitch, missing low and outside. 2-1 now goes the count. Two-one pitch coming from Pooler. That one's low for a ball. This is Justin Medlin at the plate. He has a double. Has scored a run, but he's also struck out. And that pitch, a little high and inside for ball 4. And he'll get the free pass down to first. So now up will be Drew Thomas. Thomas, the DH, batting in that number 5 spot. He was hit by a pitch, left stranded in the second. Had that big 2-out single out to right center to push across a pair of runs. Back a part of that 3-run 3rd inning for the Indians. That pitch drifting outside for a ball. So we talked about a good crowd coming out. A good crowd to my left of Calhoun supporters, right down in front of me as well. A good crowd of ICC supporters making the short, just a little bit under 2-hour drive from Fulton out to Decatur. That pitch gets away and the runner will take second. So now the Indians, can they get something going here? With 2 outs in the inning, And a runner in scoring position for ICC, trying to build on this 4-0 lead. See if they can pick up a insurance run. Of course, any insurance runs being brought to you by your Itawamba County Farm Bureau agent, Joey Cox. For all your insurance needs, stop by and see Joey there on South Adams Street in Fulton. Thought about pulling the trigger on that one, but it was called a strike. 2-1 now is the count here on Drew Thomas. So Thomas is going to dig in here, awaiting the pitch. Goes with the pitch, up the middle. Second baseman's got a tough throw and makes a beautiful play. Good play that time over at second base by Woods, and he'll lead us off in the bottom half of the inning. ICC, no runs, no hits, no errors, one left on base. We'll move to the bottom of the fifth, but before we do that, we're going to step away and be back with more right after this. And welcome back to action now as we move to the bottom of the fifth inning. ICC leading 4-0 here in game one at Calhoun. It'll be the 9-1-2 batters due up here for Calhoun in the bottom of the fifth. It'll be Woods, Sipes, and Petropaulo due up. We do have a schedule update for those ICC games softball-wise that was rained out. We'll go to that information after this pitch from Pete. Woods, little flare foul ball. So the games that were scheduled against Snead State, those will be made up on February the 20th at 2 and 4 p.m. Those are in Fulton. And then the games that were scheduled for today, Bevel State, those will be played on March the 10th at 12 and 2. Once again, visit letsgoicc.com for full schedules and updates and more for ICC athletics. That pitch across for a strike. And now the count is 0-2 here on Woods. Woods was able to leg out a double in his first at bat. 0-2 pitch coming. This one hammered but foul. And we'll do it all over again. Of course, talking about softball, we talk about Bailey Springfield for the softball team getting MACJC Pitcher of the Week as well as National Pitcher of the Week honors. This pitch popped up. And it's going to be just foul as it was stayed inside the netting, hit off the rail in front of some fans down below us. So we'll stay at 0-2. But yeah, Bailey Springfield named MACJC Pitcher of the Week, was named Fast Pitch News National JUCO Pitcher of the Week, and NJCAA Pitcher of the Week for her Week 1 performance. That pitch in the dirt for a ball. So 1-2 now is the count here on Woods. Trying to battle his way back into this at bat. 1-2 pitch coming, and it's slow and outside. Gets away. Nobody on base to do any damage that time. And so Pete quickly ready to come back. 2-2 is the count. No outs. And hit him. Just could not quite flip the wrist on that one that time to get it to come back in. And Woods is hit by a pitch. Third time today that Chris Pete has hit a batter. And so with no outs and one on, we go back to the top of the lineup with Sipes. So Sipes, who has grounded out twice to the second baseman, will dig in here. 0 for 2 on the afternoon. That pitch missing low for a ball. That sidearm pitch was there early, but kind of drifting away from Pete here in the bottom of the fifth. There's a ground ball. Third baseman jams him a little bit, gets it, flips over to second, though, but cannot get it. Off the glove of the second baseman. Runners will advance to third. So fielder's choice E5 on the play. First error of the game for the Indians. Each team with one error on the afternoon. And Coach Collier going to come out and kind of talk things over with his guys here and try to get everybody calmed down, back on the same page. 4-0 is your score. ICC with the lead. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning. Remind you of some of our other sponsors. Renaissance Bank. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change coming in here for the Indians, as this is going to be number 23, Hunter Hughes, a sophomore pitcher out of Saltillo, will come in and take his warm-up tosses. We're going to step away, as this is a choice pawn pitching change here for the Indians. We'll come back right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back to action, as Hunter Hughes has got his warm-up tosses. He's a sophomore, listed at 5'6", 150 pounds, out of Saltillo, Mississippi. Went to Saltillo High School, and his first pitch missing low for a ball. Swung on and missed on the fastball. Leaves the count now at 1-1. Breaking pitch, flare, and it's going to be foul. Boy, I tell you what, if that one, the way it was hit, would have been able to find its way into fair territory, would have been trouble for the Indians. Easily would have scored one run, maybe flirting with two, as they really didn't get a good jump on the ball out there in right field. So 1-2 now is the count here. Hughes delivers. Pitches inside for a ball. Nearly hitting the batter that time. So 2-2 is the count here for Hughes. Runners on the corners. Fastball swung on and missed. Big time strikeout there for Hunter Hughes. His first strikeout of the season. That being brought to you by Renaissance Bank. So now one out. Runners still in the corners. I believe this is Davison at the plate. Fastball drifts a little low for a ball. First strikeout for Hughes, third of the game. Breaking pitch, and it's a beauty. Evens the count now at 1-1. There's one out. Runners on the corners here for the Warhawks. They trail 4-0 here in the bottom of the fifth. That pitch low, gets away. Runner will take second. So the ball kind of just hit off the protective gear of Hunter Neighbors and just did not get away from him that time. I don't know if he was trying to bait the runner from third as it was pretty much just laid behind the plate. Good communications by Dustin Davison at the plate to keep him there. Just could not figure out the breaking pitch that time. Came up empty, and now the count goes 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners on second and third here for the Warhawks. Hughes' pitch coming, and we'll do it all over again with a foul ball. Like we got a little action brewing in the bullpen here for the Warhawks. 2-2 pitch coming from Hughes. And this one lifted to center field. Center fielder is going to drift back. Should be deep enough to score a run. And it will be. They're going to try to throw it to third. The throw from center to third is not in time, so a sacrifice fly. Pushes across the run. Gets the second out. As that was Woods who scored on the tag up. RBI for Davidson. And puts the Warhawks on the board now. 4-1. So now this will be Hunter Davison, the center fielder, coming to the plate. With a runner on third and 2 outs in the inning. ICC trying to get out of the inning with minimum damage done. The runner at third still belongs to Pete. He did reach on an error. That pitch missing low for a ball. 4-1 is your score. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fastball missing high and outside. 2-0 now goes the count. So 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs, and a runner on third. This pitch popped up, and it's going to be a foul ball. Great effort. That time by Kyle Weaver. Boy, I tell you what, he had to range a long way to try to get to that one. Just a diving effort, couldn't get to it. If you're ICC, you want to take your time and give him a chance to catch his breath. About a 40-yard dash that time by Weaver, just coming up about 3 yards short of being able to catch that one in foul territory. So 2-1 now is the count. Runner at third. There's 2 outs here in the inning. Fastball in the dirt, blocked up nicely that time by Neighbors. And 3-1 now goes the count. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Neighbors looking for that third out to get out of this inning with minimum damage done for the Indians. 3-1 pitch coming. And it's fouled back, and now the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner at third for Calhoun. They trail 4-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So the payoff pitch coming for Hughes. Already's got 1 strikeout, looking for his second. Can't get it. Ground ball, but the third baseman gets it. Plenty of time to throw it across the way, and he does for the putout. Score that one 5-3 on the putout to end the inning, and ICC gets out of that inning with minimum damage done. That will also close the book on Pete. We've played 5. ICC 4. Calhoun 1. We'll take a break and be back with more right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com, the Blue Channel. And welcome back now as we move to the top of the sixth inning. ICC with a 4-1 lead. Calhoun able to get a run back there in the bottom of the fifth. For ICC, it'll be the 6, 7, 8 batters due up. This will be your second baseman, Kason Milren at the plate. Listen, a breaking pitch hangs up outside for a ball. Milren, Krieger, and Neighbors due up here for the Indians. You'll have Kyle Weaver in the hole. That pitch missing inside 2-0 now is the count. As we talked about, the Warhawks did have somebody warming up in the bullpen. Looks like he's ready to go. This pitch foul back out of play for a strike. 2-1 now goes the count. Clouds really starting to gather here at the ballpark now as it's completely overcast. Hopefully the rains, though, will just decide to go elsewhere. So the 2-1 pitch coming. Inside, missing for a ball. Breaking pitch, it was a beauty. Just broke a little too much for the umpire's liking. 3-1 now is the count here. So Indians trying to get the leadoff runner on base. And they will via a walk. So that looks like, nope, I was going to say, but it was 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the last 5 innings, ICC has got the leadoff runner on base, and now what would be Krieger. Krieger, 1 for 2 in the afternoon. He does have an RBI and a single. Was put out on a questionable fielder's choice back in the fourth. Takes a look at that pitch, drifting inside for a ball. Krieger listed as a pitcher infielder. He's a freshman, standing at 6 foot 179. He's out of Corinth, Mississippi. Went to Corinth High School. Snap throw over to first, not in time. Count is 1-0. Runner at first after that leadoff walk. No outs in the inning. Oh, beautiful pitch that time. Just handcuffed the batter. Couldn't come up with that breaking pitch. 1-1 now is the count. So 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs, and a runner on first here for the Indians. They lead 4-1 in the top of the sixth inning. Going to show bunt, pulls back on it. That pitch a ball. See the pitcher that was warming up coming in from the bullpen, so he might be getting a change coming up soon. That time tried a unique pickoff move as the first baseman charged up and then called for the ball, charging back. The throw not in time, no slide, able to get back safely. 2-1 is the count. Shows bunt and bunts it foul. Well, the Indians not afraid to place a small ball. They're able to get a sacrifice bunt earlier, just could not do anything with it in the fourth inning. See if they can advance the runner here. But the count now at 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs, and a runner at first. We'll see if the bunt is still on here for the Indians. So waiting the pitch here. It's a breaking pitch that hangs up outside for a ball. Now the count goes full here on Krieger. Third baseman trying to help the Indians find a way to get that run back they gave up. In the bottom of the fifth, they lead 4-1. 3-2 pitch coming. Runner goes. Hit and run action. A flare out to right field, and it's a good hit and run call. Runner will be able to advance to third, and a big time base hit there. As it was just a little flare, went with the pitch, sent it out to right, and now the Indians with runners on the corners with no outs. Big time hit there. Second hit of the day for Krieger as he was able to poke that one out there and advance the runner to third. Good hit and run call that time by the Indians. Now this is going to bring up Hunter Neighbors. His last time up, he had a sacrifice bunt and grounded out to short to end the second in his first at bat. So ICC trying to get something going here in the top of the sixth. Hard hit ball just Deep enough. Right fielder's going to go back, makes the play. It'll be deep enough to get the sacrifice fly. The throw will come into second. Gets away, though, as the runner had committed to go back to first. So that's going to be an RBI for Neighbors. Good baseball right there on the part of the Indians. They had a hit and run that allowed the runner to advance over to third after reaching on the walk, and then the sacrifice fly out to left. And now we're going to have a meeting at the mound here. Looks like we're going to have a choice pond pitching change here for the Warhawks. With that case, we're going to step away and be back with more here on Let's Go ICC TV. And welcome back. Now is the new pitcher, Jackson Lovelace for Calhoun. Gotta give a shout out to the guys up here in the press box for Calhoun helping me out on that. Warhawks. There you go. Have I been saying that all day today? Have I been calling y'all the Warhawks? Okay, good, good. As many games as we go throughout the week, I kind of get my teams confused. There's a ground ball right back up the middle. It's going to be a throw over to first in time. Really didn't have a chance with his momentum carrying towards the first base side to get a chance at a double play there, so went ahead and get the for sure out at first of Weaver. Score that 6-3. Second time Weaver has been put out by the shortstop, or I should say hit to the shortstop. He wasn't actually put out last time. He grounded into a fielder's choice. He did double and score and run. Now back to the top of the lineup with Jackson Lancaster. Popped up to short to end the fourth. Walked, advanced on a pass ball and scored a run. That pitch across for a strike. He also struck out looking in his first at bat of the day. Well, the Indians were trying to get that run back from the bottom of the fifth. They did so. Nicely executed baseball. After the walk, the hit and run called and a sacrifice fly to left. There's a ground ball right back to the pitcher. Good defense that time by Lovelace, who was able to get that. Defending his position nicely that time did Lovelace to end the inning, as the Indians take a 5-1 lead now as we move to the bottom of the sixth inning. It's due up for the Warhawks will be Foster, Bradford, and Booker when we move to the bottom of the sixth. 5-1 ICC here in Game 1 at Calhoun. And welcome back to action. We may have some changes defensively for the Indians, but can't really sort those out right now. Was not reported up top by the home plate umpire. So it's going to be Foster to lead things off here. Takes that first pitch from Hughes as a strike. Second pitch fouled off. 0-2 now is the count here on Foster, the DH. We said Foster, Bradford, and Booker all due up here for the Warhawks in the bottom of the sixth. Pitch coming, swung on and missed. Another strikeout for Hughes, a Renaissance Bank strikeout. And it starts the inning there. Remember, Renaissance Bank, understanding you. Visit renaissancebank.com. Second strikeout of the day for Foster. This pitch fouled out of play. Second strikeout of the game for Hughes. 4 strikeouts in total for the Indians. Looping pitch just missing inside for a ball. Even with the count now at 1-1. We do want to remind you at the conclusion of game 1, we'll have our Renaissance Bank post-game report. And then we'll break away. Oh my goodness, where did that miss? I think the only place that one missed was the umpire blinked and missed it himself. 2-1 now is the count. A beautiful pitch that time by Hughes. And that pitch missing low for a ball. So Hughes, after a questionable call, falls behind the count 3-1. That pitch upstairs for a ball. So after a strikeout to start the inning, Bradford reaches for the third time this afternoon, this time with the walk. He tripled his last time up, but was left stranded. So now this will be the catcher, I believe Booker, coming to the plate. He was hit by a pitch, and his last at bat grounded into a double play, a Little Caesars double play, to end the second inning. That pitch across for a strike. I want to remind you, coming up on March the 3rd is the ICC Bluegrass and Gospel Concert. Tickets are available at iccms.edu/concert. Once again, that's iccms.edu/concert. Benefits from that benefit the ICC Foundation, where money goes towards scholarships for future ICC students. For more information on the ICC Foundation, visit iccms.edu. If you're in the Fulton area, you have a check or don't want to order via computer, you can stop by the Community Relations Office. Ms. Tilda Bushlawn be more than happy to help you out there to get tickets for that concert again on March 3rd. 1-2 pitch coming. Missing outside. He was the count 2-2. Not a bad spot to miss that time by Hughes. 2-2 pitch coming from Hughes. This one lifted, trouble. And it's going to curve back into the right fielder. And now there's 2 outs. That ball looked like it had a chance to get down, but hung up a little bit longer than anticipated. There's the right fielder for the Indians. I have that as Kyle Weaver. I believe he's still in the game right now, as Rick did have some changes. I thought he reported. But either way it goes now, there's 2 outs in the inning, and this is going to be the third baseman, Stennis, due up. He struck out looking to end the fourth and grounded out to the pitcher to start the third. Boy, I tell you what, he was looking to do some damage with that swing there. Came up empty on strike 1. Runner at first. There's 2 outs in the inning. ICC leading 5-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Beautiful breaking pitch across for a strike. 0-2 now is the count. Oh, 2 pitch coming from Hughes. Checks the runner at first. Missed the throw down to first. Close, but gets back safely in time. 1-2 now is the count here on Stennis. Boy, I tell you what, it'd be a big time for another one of those Renaissance Bank strikeouts to get out of this inning here. 1-2 pitch coming. That pitch fouled back. Or is it not? No, they're going to say swung and missed, and that's going to do it. A Renaissance Bank strikeout. His first base was not open there, so a little confusion on the part of everyone, but eventually called a strikeout. The third strikeout of the game for Hughes, and ICC gets out of the inning there. No runs, no hits, no errors. One left on base for the Warhawks. We're going to step away and come back with the top of the seventh right after this on Let'sGoICCTV.com. And welcome back. Loveless still on the hill here for Calhoun. They trail 5-1 as we're in the top of the seventh. This game's scheduled for 7 innings. That pitch fouled back for a strike. Got Lewis, Sedale, and Medlin all due up here for the Indians in the top of the seventh. That pitch, just missing. A beautiful pitch that time. Just, I guess, a little too up or maybe too outside for the umpire's liking. Caught a ball. 1-1 now is the count. Breaking pitch, fouled off. 1-2 now is the count here on Connor Lewis. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Connor Lewis. Lewis on the afternoon, 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. He did reach on a fielder's choice / error. Takes a look at that one for a ball. What an effort that time by the catcher to dive out and get after that one. So Loveless with a 2-2 count. Nobody on and no outs here in the top of the seventh. ICC leading 5-1. Swung on and missed for the strikeout. Loveless with his first strikeout of the day. That strikeout brought to you by Renaissance Bank. Third time that Lewis has struck out on the day. Remember, Renaissance Bank, understanding you. For all your banking needs, visit RenaissanceBank.com. Got great student checking for any of those ICC students looking to open a checking account. Breaking pitch loops in there for a strike on Bryant. I believe Renaissance Bank's got 73 locations throughout Southeast United States to serve you. Hard hit, fly ball, but foul. So nothing but an exciting strike as Sedale way ahead of that one. Second time we've seen a player have issues with their belts today. One for Calhoun, one for ICC. So 0-2 is the count here on LeBryant Sedale. And chases that one. A beautiful location on the fastball that time, low and outside. After getting a healthy chase on that last swing, got him to chase one there. And that's going to be back-to-back strikeouts now. for Lovelace. And now up is going to be Medlin. Medlin has doubled, scored a run, struck out looking, walked, advanced on a wild pitch, but was left stranded in his last at bat. Beautiful frame job by the catcher that time, as that pitch a little low and outside, was able to pull it back in and get the strike call. 0-1 pitch coming. That one just hangs up a little too high. Even the count now at 1-1. 1-1 pitch coming. Swung on and missed. I'll tell you what, I've been very impressed with Lovelace here. He does a good job of changes his velocity, locating high, low, flirting with some of those outside pitches. He got ICC to chase him a couple of times. There's a ground ball, foul towards the ICC dugout. Played nicely by Ray Sandroni, the freshman catcher out of Tupelo. Showing off, I would say flashing some letter, but he barehanded that one that time. So 1-2 is the count with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. And another beautiful location by Lovelace. Gets the strikeout, and he strikes out the side in the top of the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors. 3 up, 3 down, go the Indians. ICC 3 outs away from closing the door on game 1 here. ICC leads it 5-1. We'll take a break and come back with more right after this on Let's Go ICC TV. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As we get set to start things off here, it'll be the 9-1-2 batters due up here for Calhoun. And the bottom of the 7th inning, ICC leading at 5-1. This is Woods starting things off. Healthy swing, strike 1. Woods doubled, and his first at bat was left stranded in scoring position. Was hit by a pitch, did come around to score on a sacrifice fly by Dustin Davidson. There's a ground ball to the shortstop, cleans it, throws it high, and gets away. E6. That's a little routine play there. Couldn't be executed by the Indians. Well, I started to talk about this going to the break, and I think because I thought about it that I got to speak on it now, because that way I won't jinx this. Whether it be baseball, softball, you never, when ICC comes to Calhoun, this game ain't over with till you get that third out. I've seen some crazy rallies by the Indians, by the Warhawks, in numerous games each time I've come out here. So you just never feel easy with the lead, even if it's a 4-run lead in the bottom of the 7th. Pitch a little low in the basement for a ball. So Woods will reach on the error. It's the second error of the game for the Indians. I think Woods has a little bit better speed than the guys were anticipating. There's that pitch high for a ball. 2-0 now is the count. As Neighbors wants to just go out and talk to his pitcher here. So Hunter Hughes, not the biggest kid of stature, listed at 5'6", $150. He's a sophomore out of South Tillo. Woods at first. Breaking pitch, and it's a beauty for a strike. 2-1 now goes the count. No outs and a runner on first here for the Warhawks. We're in the bottom of the 7th. That pitch inside. Jammed him up a little bit. Too much inside for the umpire's liking. 3-1 now goes the count. So right now, if you're Hunter Hughes, just take a deep breath. Come back and trust your defense to be able to get you out of this jam here. Serves something up here on 3-2. Breaking pitch, and it's a called a ball. Good looking pitch that time. Not sure where it missed. I guess a little high for the umpire's liking. And Coach Collier's going to come out and talk to the Indians here. Warhawks trying to rally. Runners on first and second with no outs in the bottom of the seventh. Game one between the Indians and the Warhawks. It looks like that could do it here for the Indians as they're going to go to the bullpen. We'll have a choice pond pitching change here for ICC as Sam Harrington comes into the contest here to try to close things out for the Indians. We'll step away and be back with more right after this. And welcome back to action now as we still in the bottom of the seventh, 5-1 ICC with the lead. But the Warhawks trying to rally here. Sam Harrington enters to pitch for the Indians. Sam, a sophomore pitcher, listed at 6'5", 270, out of Morville. Went to Morville High School. Boy, I tell you what, you talk about a big-time difference. You go from a left-hander to right-hander, but you go from 5'6" to 6'5". As that pitch fouled off towards the Warhawk dugout, strike one. This is Petropaulo at the plate. Officially on the day, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He has walked and been hit by a pitch. That's Harrington. In a staring match with Woods over at second. The delivery, this pitch lifted. Center fielder drifting over, and makes the play. And they're going to tag the runner from second to third. Runner at first will stay. So the first out of the inning. That fly ball out to center, and now up will be Dustin Davidson. Davidson has the lone RBI of the day on a sacrifice fly. He's flown out to center twice and popped up to short once. So one out now, and runners on the corners here for the Warhawks. As Hunter Neighbors going to come up and set the defense for the Indians. This is Dustin Davidson at the plate. Big looping pitch and finds his way in there for a strike. That was just ugly. Almost a 12-6 break on that pitch. Strike one. Fastball across, but apparently just a little bit too far outside for the umpire's liking. Even with the count now at 1-1. Runners at first and third here for the Warhawks. They trail 5-1 here in game one against the Indians. The first game of the season for ICC, sixth game of the year for the Warhawks. Fastball, man, just a little bit outside once again. So the umpire not giving the Indians that outside corner. Now, he has enjoyed that inside pitch today. He's been consistent with the strike zone. 2-1 pitch coming. That one upstairs for a ball. 3-1 now is the count. So right now, if you're Sam, you just step back, take a deep breath, and see if you can find the zone here. With a 3-1 count, you figure the red light will be on here for Dustin Davidson. Snap throw over to first. No tag. As Woods kind of looked the first baseman to make him think he might have been going. Did not. And there's the strike. Good job that time, just grooving one down the zone. 3-2 now is the count with one out. One out. 3-2 is the count here. Harrington set to deliver. Instead, tosses over to first. So we'll try to build the drama one more time. Runners on the corners for the Warhawks. 5-1, ICC with the lead. 3-2 is the count here to Davidson. Harrington getting set to deliver. And there's a ground ball. Second baseman, look what I found. Flips it to second, but misses it. Nobody covering third, so going to have to hurry. And he's going to dive at him, and he says he's safe. Another error by the Indians. They were trying to turn two to end the inning, but instead, that allows a run to score. Davidson will advance to second. Smart play there by the base runner at second to recognize that there was nobody covering the bag at third. Won the foot race to third. Davidson knew that he had an easy way of going to second. Was able to get to second. So now the tying run is at the plate for the Warhawks. I told you, folks, things get interesting when ICC and Calhoun get together here in Decatur. That breaking pitch missing low for a ball. So 5-2 now is the score. There's one out. Runners on second and third. That fastball across for a strike. 1-1 now is the count here on Hunter Davidson, the center fielder. He's 0 for 3 on the day. He's grounded out to third, short, and popped out to center. Time is taken by Hunter Davidson. Foster, I believe, is on deck for the Warhawks. So drama here in the late innings in Decatur. Tying run at the plate. 5-2 ICC with the lead. Swung on, couldn't catch up with the fastball. And 1-2 now goes the count here on Hunter Davidson. So 1-2 is the count here on Davidson. Pitch is coming. Swung on and missed for the strikeout. The first Renaissance Bank strikeout of the day for Sam Harrington for out number 2. So now 2 outs, but still the tying run at the plate here for the Warhawks. And this is going to be Foster at the plate. Takes that pitch for a ball. Foster has struck out twice, both times swinging. It's popped up to short to start the second. That pitch missing high and outside. 2-0 quickly is the count here on Foster. Bradford, I believe, is on deck for the Warhawks. 2-0 pitch coming. That one across for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th, 5-2. ICC trying to find a way to pick up this win here in Game 1. That pitch missing outside for a ball. 3-1 now is the count. Once again, Harrington just needs to slow down a little bit. Maybe trying to rush his pace a little too much. 3-1 pitch getting set to come from Harrington. And there's ball 4. Bases loaded. Now things get interesting here for the Warhawks as the winning run comes to the plate. Tying run now at first. As I said, things tend to get interesting when we cross the state line, venture into Decatur, and that tell of the tape has stayed true here in game one. Tying run at first. Winning run coming to the plate. And this is the shortstop, Bradford. And he has been trouble today for the Indians. He is 2 for 2 with a walk. He does have a triple and a single in the contest. So right now, if you're the Warhawks, this is the guy you want at the plate. And that pitch across for a strike. That triple, if not for a great play out in center field to get the ball back into play, could have easily been a in-the-park home run. And all of a sudden, Sam Harrington has just woke up with 2 back-to-back fastballs to get ahead in the count 0-2. So 0-2 now is the count here. Pitch coming. Breaking pitch, ground ball, and that could do it. And that's going to do it. And the Indians hang on to pick up the game one victory here, 5-2 over Calhoun. And pick up the first win of the season. And ICC wins it after things got interesting. Winning pitcher, Chris Pete, the save goes to Harrington for the Indians. Losing pitcher was Pooler for the Warhawks. ICC improves to 1-0. The Warhawks fall to 3-3 on the year. Give you your final line here in a moment. So kind of tally things up. As that was just an interesting 7th inning. And it's going to be an interesting line score when you look at it here in a moment. For ICC, 5 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors. For the Warhawks, 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error. They didn't get any runs, or excuse me, 1 run on no hits and 2 errors in the bottom of the 7th did the Warhawks. Take a look at some of the batting for the Indians on the day. Jackson Lancaster, 0 for 3 with the walk. He did score a run. Connor Lewis went 0 for 4 on the day with 3 strikeouts. LaBryant Sedell went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Justin Medlin on the day, he went 1 for 3 with a walk. He had a double and scored a run. Drew Thomas, 1 for 2 on the afternoon. He had a 2-run single back in the 3rd. He was also hit by a pitch. You've got Casey Milren. He went 1 for 2 on the day. He walked and scored a run. That was in the 6th inning. Kyle Krieger went 2 for 3 on the afternoon. Did have an RBI. Hunter Neighbors, he went 0 for 1 on the day with a pair of sacrifice. He had a sacrifice bunt and a sacrifice fly. He did have an RBI on the afternoon. And Kyle Weaver went 1 for 3 on the afternoon with a double and a run scored. Our Sonic star of the game, that's going to be Kyle Krieger, going 2 for 3 on the afternoon. You also got to put Drew Thomas in considerations for that. He had a big 2-out single that pushed across 2 runs that proved to give the Indians just enough breathing room here in game 1. As we said, Pete gets the win. He improves to 1-0. Harrington gets the save, his first save of the year. Well, that's going to do it for game 1. We'll come back in about 20-30 minutes with game 2 here on Let'sGoICCTV.com. As we'll be back, ICC wins game 1, 5-2 over Calhoun.